And welcome to your most authoritative evening political show in the country, Hot News. We are coming to you from our studios in Abelinkwe 48 Swanika Street here in Accra. We are live on Facebook at Pan-African Television. We are also live on YouTube at Pan-African Television. You can join in the conversation by sending your views, comments, and contributions on 02608465390, 02608465339. You can as well leave your suggestions, questions, and whatnot on our social media pages. We'll make a time and read all those for you. My name is Justice Appiah. Tonight on Hot News, we are looking at about 3 or 4 issues. One, we are looking at a group in the National Democratic Congress calling itself cadres for accountable leadership, issuing a 14-day ultimatum to the National Democratic Congress's leadership to be accountable for the 2020 general elections. They are demanding for all the collated results from the various constituencies. What are they going to use it for? Well, those are their demands, or they are asking that the leadership of the National Democratic Congress render an unqualified apology to the Electoral Commissioner, Madam Jane Mensah, over a decision to go to court without any alternative or without any collated figure from the camp of the National Democratic Congress. I'll be playing, the interview, or probably, a video on that pretty shortly. We'll also be looking at a banter between the Speaker of Parliament and the Majority Leader in Parliament. What was it about? It was about a petition that was filed at Parliament by, I think, the former founder of UT Bank, and its acceptance and all of that at Parliament that resulted in a banter between the Speaker of Parliament and that of the Majority Leader. We'll be playing that bite also pretty shortly. And then also we'll look at some suspensions that have happened in the National Democratic Congress. Mr. Atubiga has been suspended over some comments he made against some party stalwarts. Also, Mr. Loteje Corps has been, of course, sacked from the party. Let me put it that way. He's also out there saying a lot of things. We'll be delving into these issues properly. But briefly, let's go and listen to what the cadres, the so-called cadres of the National Democratic Congress, are saying. We'll be right back.
Of the AFRC, the PNDC, and the NDC. So we are an associated lot. And I've also underlined that we are dotted across the country, in every ward, and most of our members are frontline executives of the NDC today. And some of them are here, some of them are branch executives, some of them are from the wards. The party is dear to our hearts. So if people are saying they don't know us, that will be their own case. Some of them, as I'm talking to you, some of them are monitoring, and they know that Livingston Pechali, who is the convener of the cadres accountability, is here. So they cannot claim to know, you don't know us. I have worked for this party tirelessly. Likewise, my colleagues. People have died in the elections to sacrifice for this party. So we are an amalgamated group, and we are going to advocate the cause for all members. Another question sought to ask whether we are going to ask our party leadership to apologize for lambasting the EC for the failure to produce the pink sheets. You see, anytime you are put in the leadership position, there is a responsibility for you to discharge.
Well,
so I cannot sit here and speak for the leadership of the NDC. Okay? We have dispatched a letter for them asking them to produce the pink sheets or the collated results within 14 days. Our comrades ought to know this. If they don't do that, the onus lies on them to take up the honorary thing by apologizing. the onus lies on them. For them, if they don't know no say, then they keep quiet. But if they know what to say.
Welcome back. You're still watching Hot News right here on Pan-African Television with me, Justice Appiah. You've listened to the pressure group coming from the National Democratic Congress, calling on its leadership to present all collated results from the various constituencies in the 2020 elections. If they don't have the collated results and all of that, and then they should be looking at probably apologizing to the Electoral Commissioner for taking her through what they did, especially in court, when they knew that they did not have results to counter that of what the Electoral Commission has presented. I'll be reading pretty shortly their demands. But something happened in Parliament yesterday where the Speaker of Parliament and the Majority Leader in Parliament, engaged in a banter. What was it about? It was about a petition filed, and the Majority Leader, of course, did not understand why the petition had to be accepted. That brought about the banter. Let's briefly go and watch what happened in Parliament yesterday. When we come back, I introduce my guests for the discussion to start.
Majority Leader.
Yes, I hear you, Mr. Speaker.
Your powers have not reached that.
Mr. Speaker, I agree with you.
Honorable Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Resume your seat.
I will. But I want you to take this on board. Don't relax it. Don't relax the rules.
Honorable Majority Leader, the business of government is led by you in this house. You don't lead Parliament. You lead the business of the House. You lead the majority, and you lead government business. As to the role of the Speaker, you haven't reached there yet. When you get there, you do so. Please, you've been my very good friend for all these years, until I became Speaker. And everybody in Ghana is doubting whether you were really my friend. I received a lot of calls about that. And I said, you are my friend, and you are still my friend, but people are doubting it. Please, don't give credence to that doubt. Honorable Minister, move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I have not been your friend until you became the Speaker. You and I know that we are still friends. But we agree to disagree. We agree to disagree. Mr. Speaker, and with respect, majority leaders don't only act as leaders of the majority caucus, and also when their government, their party is in power, as leaders of government business. A majority leader is a leader of the House.
I stated it.
Thank you very much.
I stated it. But you are not the leader of the Speaker. You know, the mode in which you disagree with me is what is giving credence to whether you are still my friend. It looks like you are my former friend now. Before I hear you always on air disagreeing with me and so vehement that people are doubting, is this really my friend? So I'm just drawing your attention. If you want to continue to be my friend, then you know the proper thing to do.
If I want to be your friend, or if you want to be my friend, it's mutual. It's mutual.
You have to be my friend, not me being your friend. At least I have a position in Ghana. Number 3. What is your number?
Mr. Speaker, your number three is not in government. Your number three is not in government.
No, I didn't say in government. I said in the country.
That is
What is your position in the country?
my position, Mr. Speaker, is that my position is a versatile utility
Number.
which may have much more significance than a fixated player.
Your number is what? We are waiting.
Well, that was what transpired yesterday in Parliament. I'm sure you've heard the Speaker of Parliament asked the Majority Leader that the Speaker of Parliament, is the number 3 gentleman of the land. What is his number? Interesting times ahead. Let's see how this Parliament is going to be. It looks as if the challenges have started popping up and all of that. But, well, I have in the studio with me Honorable Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, in person of Comrade Motala Mohammed. He prefers to be called a comrade. Good evening, Senior.
Good evening, Justice.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for the opportunity, and good evening to your cherished viewers and, of course, the good people of Tamale Central.
I've been away for, about 3 weeks writing exams. Yeah. But I watched you with my colleague David.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. I loved that edition, actually.
It stood up very well for you.
Very well. Now, there's a group, and I would want to read their demands. And this is what the story says. A pressure group affiliated with the Opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, Cadres for Accountable Leadership, has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the leadership of the National Democratic Congress to produce collated figures or pink sheets of the 2020 general elections. At a press conference on Tuesday, the group's convener, Livingston Pichali, insisted that the leadership must account to the grassroots of the party on their total votes garnered to improve transparency. According to him, a series of protests will be carried out to drum home their displeasure in order to have their demands met. I have worked for this party, NDC, tirelessly, likewise my colleagues. People have died during elections to sacrifice for this party. We are a group advocating for a cause of accountability. Anytime you are put in a leadership position, there is a responsibility for you to discharge. So I cannot sit here and speak for the leadership of the National Democratic Congress. We have dispatched a letter to them asking them to produce the pink sheets or the collated results within 14 days. Our comrades ought to know the truth, he told the press. We are taking political leadership too cheaply in this country. People assume positions and they are not able to deliver their duties. Now, it is time to be sounding the alarm bells to demand accountability, that when you're given a duty, you must discharge. If you fail, you resign and get out of office, he emphasized. Furthermore, Mr. Pichali asked the leaders of the party to render an apology to the Electoral Commission, EC, if it knows it accused the institution falsely. If they don't know no shame, then they should keep quiet. But if they know what is shame, then they should own up, admit that they have made mistakes. All of us make mistakes and do the needful. Those are the words from, persons or a group coming up saying that they are affiliated to the National Democratic Congress and that they are demanding that party leadership produce pink sheets or collated results from the various constituencies. You are a member of Parliament for the National Democratic Congress and a leading member. Do you have an idea of this group?
Well, Justice, thank God that there isn't any member of my constituency who is part of this group.
How are you able to tell?
Well, I'm able to tell because everybody watch what happened, and I haven't heard anybody in my constituency who is truly an NDC person, who subscribe to some of these things that they are saying. And let me say that every leadership would have some challenges. Even in our homes, you certainly would have some defects. It's not that rosy to everybody. And I'm not here to hold brief for any leader within the NDC. I'm not here to hold brief for our flag bearer for 2020. Neither am I here to hold brief for the leadership of the party. I'm here to speak the truth. This statement, as they indicated in the first place, is a lie. In the second place, it is made from the position of absolute ignorance as far as the Constitution and the rules and regulations governing the activities of the NDC are concerned. In the third place, it is meant to cause harm. And the reasons why it is meant to cause harm, I leave that to the consciences of the so-called, pressure group within the NDC.
Why would members of the National Democratic Congress want to cause harm to, the party they are affiliated to?
An honest and genuine and sincere NDC person would not even attempt to say that the NDC should be apologizing to Jean Mensa and the MPP-infested Electoral Commission. Everybody knows that Mr. Nana Addo never won the elections. Everybody knows that the elections were fraudulently declared for Mr. Nana Addo by Jean Mensa, who, by the way, is a family relation of the First Lady, and who, by the way, was and still an MPP activist. Everybody knows that Dr. Bosman Asari was and still an activist of the NPP. And everybody knows that the elections that we went into in the 2008 was certainly not free, fair, and transparent.
In 2020?
I am saying, in 2020, was certainly not free, fair, and transparent. It doesn't matter whatever happened at the Supreme Court. I don't think anybody can force me or force anybody to change our thoughts about what happened on the 7th of December. So I'm coming. I'm making this point. So any true and sincere and honest NDC person will not be making the kind of statements and demands. I've indicated that I'm not here to defend the party leadership, but I'm saying that a true NDC person who really loves the NDC and suffers for the NDC, as they are claiming, as if they are the only group of people or individuals who have suffered for the NDC. People are even questioning those people. I have seen.
In other words, are you saying that these persons are not members of the?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I don't even know them. Maybe perhaps I don't need to know all NDC.
I was just about to ask you that.
I'm saying I don't need to, but I'm saying that if not a compromised NDC person, regardless of whatever problem any of them would have as far as the party leadership is concerned, the party leadership certainly would have problems. I have my concerns about all of us. And that is why every opportunity I get, I don't try to play the saint. I try to say that, look, there is a problem. Perhaps we all collectively didn't act as expected in the elections. But we won the elections. I am very convinced about that. The Electoral Commissioner, that woman was unwilling to tell the people of this country what happened on the 7th of December. And she hid behind legalities and never testified. And that is another matter which I wouldn't want to get into. But the point I'm just making, to say that the NDC should be apologizing to the Electoral Commission in the first place.
But that statement, I want you to understand that it was made on a condition.
I'm saying that condition is bogus.
Collated results and pink sheets from the various constituencies, then it means that you have accused
on what basis
the Electoral Commission falsely.
On what, you see, that's why I
started, that you should apologize.
That is why
you don't have.
That's why I started saying that that statement in the first place is a lie. In the second place, it is made from the position. In the second place, it is made from the position of absolute ignorance as to what happened on the 7th of December. In the third place, it is meant to cause harm by people who are absolutely, if they are NDC members, who they may certainly be compromised to be making those statements. How did they get to know that the NDC didn't have collated results.
Because according to them in court, you were unable to present your figures to counter that of the one
that is
from
why,
the electoral
that is
commission.
Why I am
and
saying
to
that
them, they think that you do not.
Clearly, it qualifies the third aspects of my statement. It is meant to cause harm. The NDC went to court with the declared results of the electoral commission. The NDC didn't go to court with any results declared by us. The NDC doesn't have the capacity and the legal backing to declare elections results. The only body clothed with the authority to conduct, supervise and conduct elections and declare say is the electoral commission. Any results that any political party declares will be deemed to be provisional. The only body clothed with the power and the authority by law to declare elections results is the electoral commission. The NDC went to court with a clear vision, and the reason why we went to court was to challenge the results as declared on the 7th of this, on the 8th and 9th of December, 10th of December, and the repeated unabated changes as done by the electoral commission. And I remember that this question was being asked by people who certainly didn't appreciate the gravity of the NDC being in court. We didn't go to court with any results that the NDC had. We went to court with the official results declared by the electoral commission. So if you are now asking the electoral NDC, and it was also asked even in the court, if you are asking the NDC, where is your declared results? It is absolutely absurd. Whatever results NDC went to court with, the court would have asked the NDC whether the NDC had the capacity to do that. And in any case, the electoral commission would have told the NDC that they are the only body, they are the only institution mandated to conduct elections and declare same, not the NDC.
It is clear that in court, the National Democratic Congress was demanding to inspect documents from the Electoral Commission, of which you have photocopies of.
We didn't need, you see, we didn't, that is why the Electoral Commissioner refused to be cross-examined. We went to court through a petition. We went to court challenging the results declared by the Electoral Commission. Is that not the case?
Very well.
We didn't go to court to say that, by the way, the NDC, our police in court, is, we didn't say that we won the election. We said that the elections, you know, declared by Jean Mensa on the 9th of December, failed to meet the constitutional requirement that for you to be declared a winner of a general elections, you should have attained 50+1 of the votes as cast. The NDC is saying that that results as declared failed to meet that constitutional provision, and that no political party and none of the candidates got the 50+1. We were challenging this based on the very results declared by the Electoral Commission.
But before,
so if we turn around and then you
went to court, before going
the
to
NDC
court,
had related
the National
results.
Democratic Congress made its supporters believe that you had won the election and that you were cheated.
Who went to court in the petition? Who was the petitioner?
Former President John Dramani.
Did he say anywhere that he won the elections? Is there any evidence? Please. Is there any evidence that he said he won the elections?
But the National Democratic Congress as a party had press conferences where they indicated,
who indicated
that because there were a series of press conferences held. One was addressed by the National Communications Officer of your party, Sami Jemfi, and others. I mean, where they sought to paint a picture that you had won the 2020 elections. Would you deny that?
We shouldn't dwell on conjecture. You are telling me that where they sought to paint a picture. I am talking about a matter that for which the NDC went to court.
Okay.
And that is why I asked the question, who was the petitioner? It was President Mahama. President Mahama at no point in time stated that he had won the elections. And in fact, even in court, the respondents could not adduce any evidence whatsoever that the petitioner who was in court said anywhere that the NDC had won the elections. So what I'm simply saying, that the argument and the assertion for which reason this bogus demonstration was conducted. And I'll come to even the complicity of this government in this demonstration that had taken place. That the NDC went to court challenging the results declared by Jean Mensah. Is that not the case? So if we are challenging a results declared by Jean Mensah, do we need to bring our own results? Do we need to? Just as if you declare, if you have been appointed as the electoral commissioner to supervise an elections of your panelists who appear on your program, and you are the only person given the legal authority to supervise, conduct the elections and supervise the elections and declare same, and then you declared your results, and then I also come out and say that I've also declared my results. Who do you think they will take serious? They will take you because only you. And if I go to court challenging the results you declared, must I provide another? In any case, let me make this point very clear. The NDC had our declared results very well. And I can tell you, every single constituency had a coalition center. Every region had a coalition center. By 7 o'clock, I had all my results intact in Tamale Central. By 7 o'clock. Our coalition center, which happened at the party, constituency office, we had the results we got by 7, 8, let's say by 9. We had our results because by 7 o'clock we had all the polling stations, the polling stations across the constituency, results were declared. So by 7, latest by 9, we had the results for both presidential and parliamentary. And this thing happened across the country. The NDC, in fact, about 2 of the press conferences held, stated, the General Secretary stated that we had all our pink sheets, unlike the 2016. It is as a result of the possession of the pink sheets that we got to realize that the Techiman South we won, that we got to realize that we won several constituencies which the NDC used military for the first time in our electoral process to rig the elections. So if you ask the NDC that if the NDC does not, and in any case, how can you be saying, making a conditional statement that if the NDC doesn't have the collated results, then they should be apologizing to the Electoral Commission? You haven't asked the NDC whether they have the collated results or not. The NDC indicated to the General Secretary. They have
served letters to the leadership to produce the collated results.
To them as who?
As members of the party,
is that
who must be accountable?
The party has laid down procedure. They don't have some rights than any of us, and none of them suffered for the party than any of us. And let me make this point very clear. Even those of us who are members of parliament suffered for the party. I have been a communicator for this party, not today. I have been working for this party. Even my students, my studentship days in the University of Ghana. Many people have. Some people should not create the impression as if they have suffered for the party than any other person. Look, we went into an elections. And that is why I tell NDC people that walk with your head tall, your chest out, and your shoulders high, that we won the elections. That the elections was fraudulently declared by Jean Mensah for Mr. Nanado. Now, everything about the party, we all have our issues. I have issues with the party and some executives of the party. But there are laid down rules and regulations that determines how grievances are resolved in the party.
Okay.
Now, people are now coming out to tell us that the NDC should be apologizing to Jean Mensah for what? And they are now telling us that President Mahama, if he fails, I think it's one of their reasons, some of the placards, if he fails to provide the pink sheets, President Mahama should not attempt to contest the elections in 2024. It is very clear. It is very clear that this bunch of demagogues are used by the MPP. And it is very clear.
This is, an accusation. You're accusing
absolutely. Why? Why would they? Who is the leader of the party now? The NDC constitution is very clear. The NDC constitution says that if we are not having an elections to contest, or if after elections, the leader of the party is the national chairman. Is that not it?
Exactly.
So why are they now? And in any case, have we reached a time where people would be picking forms to contest elections? Has President Mahama indicated to anybody that he will be contesting the 2024 elections? And in any case, even if he wants to contest, can anybody prevent him from contesting? It is his democratic right, like any other candidate, to contest the ticket of the NDC as a flag bearer in 2024. Anybody. Look, I am the MP for Tamale Central. I can't prevent anybody from contesting for the Tamale Central, NDC primaries in 2024. I can't prevent anybody. It is within the democratic right of any card-bearing member of the NDC who pays his or her dues to contest. So if anybody is qualified to contest for the NDC flag bearership for the purposes of 2024 elections, you cannot prevent anybody from contesting. So why would anybody preempt that? Nobody. In fact, we still have a long way. If we are going to be thinking of contesting elections to elect our flag bearer, that will be sometime a year or 2 years. I have a position that the NDC should organize our Congress to elect our flag bearer very early. Very early.
But are you in any way suggesting that members of the National Democratic Congress cannot demand from the party's leadership the outcome of the 2020 elections?
I'm saying that there are laid down rules and regulations.
What are the laid down rules and regulations? To them, they have submitted letters to the leadership.
They have demonstrated absolute ignorance as to how you can get such information. Do you get such information through demonstration? And Justice, let me ask you a simple question. Some few weeks ago, my good friend Elikem and Co. wanted to embark on a demonstration.
Yes.
This government, through the IGP, prevented them from doing that. You know what they did? They didn't just tell them that they should not engage. They went to court. Using what? COVID. Has COVID left us?
Not at all.
Yet, they think that this group of people should be given that opportunity to demonstrate because the demonstration is against the NDC. Because they think that demonstration will create problems. The worry of this government should be their support of Nanado and his family, their support of Dr. Baumia against Mr. Alan Chilmantin. That should be their concern. Their concern should not be about the NDC.
You don't have any
read Daily Guide. I say read Daily Guide.
Persons who have embarked on demonstration are members of MPP, or the MPP is behind those persons who are demonstrating or calling on the...
Do you need any evidence again to tell you that we are seated in the studios of Pan-Africa TV?
Not at all.
You don't need any evidence. That is why I asked that simple question. A group of citizens of this country wanted to embark on a demonstration, in fact, picketing. The Ghana police said that they will not give them that chance, in fact, which is their right under the Constitution, Article 21, Clause 1D. The Ghana police says that they will not allow them to embark on that democratic right, their constitutional right to demonstrate. Using COVID, is that not the case? They went to court. Are we still not in COVID? Why didn't they apply saying? It is very clear that everything they are doing is masterminded by this government.
What makes it so hard for a member of the National Democratic Congress or some group in the party to come out and say that nobody collated results,
nobody
we have constituency results, we want constituency, and the executives or the leadership...
I am not holding brief. I've told you, and that is why I give that caveat. I am not here to defend the national executive of the party. I am here to say that those bunch of hypocrites are being used by this government. And read the paper, Gabriel Chebdaku's paper. What's the name of that paper? Is it? I've never, I don't even read that paper.
But what is in
I am
paper?
saying that they publish, I mean, they gave it even a banner headline. They are saying that people are demanding, NDC people are demanding that President Mahama should not attempt to contest the 2024 election. Have we reached the stage where we are talking about attempting to contest elections? In any case, the first process of working towards the 2024 primaries is that we would have to organize branch elections, elect branch executives, then organize constituency elections, elect constituency elections, executive, then go for regional elections across the 16 regions in Ghana, elect regional executive, and then we go and elect national executives, after who you'll be thinking of even electing a presidential candidate for the 2024 elections. And that is why I asked that simple question. You don't need anybody to tell you that they are being used by the NPP and Mr. Nanado and his looting family. In any case, why is it that they are making such demands when we haven't even reached the stage? Why will they pick President Mahama and say that President Mahama should not contest? It is very clear that the NPP is scared of President Mahama. That is the point. you want to play a football match and your opponent says that don't field this player. In fact, don't field Messi. Because if you field Messi, we'll beat you. And then you go ahead heeding the call of your opponent by not fielding Messi.
But you see,
the other thing, and let me make this quick point. The other thing that people must understand is that if you need pink sheets, you don't ask the flag bearer for the 2020 elections.
But are they asking the flag bearer? They are demanding it from the party's leadership.
They are demanding that President Mahama should produce the pink sheets or he should not contest the 2024 elections.
From the voice we played, they are calling on the national chairman of the party.
I say check the placards, what you played. And a lot of the papers, the NPP Pro, papers have published same stories. Why would you make that demand? In any case, have you written to the party demanding that they provide that? And on what basis? I think that on what basis, if you are demanding, I'm saying that the NDC made this very clear in some of the press conferences that we have our pink sheets. And I can tell you that in my constituency, we have all the pink sheets intact, which was forwarded to the party, given to the leadership of the party. And almost all my colleagues can tell you that the pink sheets that we had in our constituencies were actually submitted to the National Executive. The argument is that we went to court without pink sheets. The NDC had our collated results. And our lawyers argued in open court that we were not in court to talk about the NDC's collated results. We were in court challenging the results declared by Jean Mensa. So if you are challenging the results declared by someone, why will you bring a different results? You are talking about the results she declared. And that is the reason why the NDC, and that was the reason why the NDC went to court. So to come argue that if the NDC doesn't have the collated results and the pink sheets, we should be apologizing to Jean Mensa. It is a deliberate attempt being used by this government. They think that they can muddy the water. Nanado and his family should be concerned about the fact that the Achim Mafia are supporting Dr. Baumia against Alan Chirmantin because they know that the Asante flock in the MPP are supporting
Dr. Baumia. That is the fact. Came out with a communique.
That what?
That persons who are circulating his posters and all of that, he knows nothing about.
But they are circulating posters.
He is not concentrating on, flag bearers.
But at least he didn't say he's not contesting. I mean, you don't need anybody to tell. I'm saying that Nanado and his family are supporting Dr. Baumia.
To whom
and they are thinking of,
right
please, they are thinking, look, they are thinking of, please,
deliver.
But if he had 4 years, he couldn't deliver. What he left the people of this country is nothing but a mess, looting and robbery to enrich the family.
No, once you have mentioned,
I'm saying that
his decision
you don't expect him.
Saying that he has not decided.
Oh, my brother, you don't expect
and that he's
him.
rather assisting the president.
There are two publications. They do it through social media. One is publishing for Dr. Baumia. Another one is publishing for Alan Chirmantin. And what Nanado and Co are doing now, they are trying to get an Asante to divide the Asante front. And that is why they are doing, if you check the appointments, that is what they are doing, to enrich some individuals, because they think that if Dr. Baumia becomes the president, inshallah it won't happen. If he becomes the president, the family loot of the Akufo-Addos will continue. That is the reason. That should be their interest. That should be their preoccupation. They should leave the NDC alone. All right. And they should not be using faceless individuals whose identity of the NDC cannot even be vouched for as NDC people.
So if you think that it's a new patriotic party that is behind this so-called faceless people you just talked about, making demands that the party leadership, produce pink sheets and collated constituency results and all of that. Here is what a suspended member of your party, Atubiga, who is a known member of the National Democratic Congress, has said. And it looks as if it is not the group only that are having, the thinking that the National Democratic Congress do not have collated, results. This is what he said. You set up a coalition center looking like a Binduri internet cafe, and you expected to win election. How different is this statement from a non-party member from what the so-called cadres have said?
Look, I haven't said that anybody doesn't have any right to say anything he wants to say. But I'm saying that the party has laid down procedures. And Justice, I don't know how many times I have to say this.
Okay.
I'm not here to defend the party leadership.
Okay.
I may have problems even with the party leadership across the country. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm not here, but I'm saying that this particular group, they are not doing it with any good intention. That is why I asked that simple question. Why is it that the same group NDC people who wanted, in fact, citizens of this country, who wanted to demonstrate against the thievery that we are experiencing under this government, just less than a month ago, and the police said they could not demonstrate because we are in times of COVID. Yet you have another group that is demonstrating against the NDC, and the police think that COVID has gone and will never come. COVID is no longer with us, and you know how this government operates. You think that the police prevented Elikim and his friends from demonstrating because the police, as an independent institution, did so. They were being remote controlled by Mr. Nanado. And this same group of people who have been given the opportunity to demonstrate, rather needlessly, are being remote controlled by Mr. Nanado. And you don't need anybody. Read the MPP papers, the Daily Guide, the Crusading Guide, read them. All the papers carry that story, and that story is not even consistent in terms of their reportage. And that is why I'm saying that if you are a genuine NDC person, trust me, you won't say that the NDC should be apologizing to Jean Mensah and the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission rigged an elections for the MPP. Every single serious-minded NDC person is not happy with this Electoral Commission.
To put issues to rest.
Every serious-minded NDC person is not happy with this Electoral Commission.
To put issues to rest, why don't you advise their party's leadership
to do what?
Provide the documents they are demanding?
I'm saying that the party leadership have stated without number that we have every pink sheet available. And I've just given an example as an active participant in the just ended elections.
Exactly.
Every single pink sheet of all the polling stations in Tamale Central were made available to the leadership of the party. And all my colleagues can attest to this fact. Now, on what basis is the party providing the pink sheets to anybody? And in any case, if you want the pink sheets from the party, please, sake, I'm saying, who is the party accounting to?
To its members.
Good. So if you want the pink sheets, must you embark on demonstration for that pink sheets to be provided?
Well, but I have told you that they said they've written to the party's leadership.
And you believe that
probably they've not heard from them.
If you write to the party leadership and they haven't responded, there are means by which you can insist that they respond. In any case, couldn't they have even held a press conference or grant an interview and say that we wanted this information if they are indeed NDC people? By the way, I have seen pictures circulating that one of them is an active member of the NPP. If indeed they wrote to the party leadership that they needed such pink sheets, and then the party leadership refused to provide that information to them as NDC persons, they could have granted an interview, they could have held a press conference, but they demonstrated regardless COVID, and the police said you can demonstrate because this time around it is not against this corrupt government, it is against the NDC, and therefore go ahead and demonstrate. COVID wasn't used as an excuse. So I'm saying that the processes of demanding such answers are laid down in the party's constitution.
So you are convinced that this group is being fueled by the New Patriotic Party?
You don't need Archimedes to rise from his tomb to tell you that.
On what basis are you saying that? Simply because they were allowed to demonstrate?
First and foremost, no serious, genuine and honest NDC person under any circumstance will be asking anybody in NDC to apologize to Jean Mensah and her gang. Nobody. No serious-minded NDC person. Look, people have problems with the party structures. People have problems with constituencies, with regional, with national executives. But genuine NDC persons will not demand that the NDC leadership should be apologizing to Jean Mensah, who caused us this hurt and refused to explain to the people of this country what happened on the 7th of December and what happened on the 9th.
You think that a genuine NDC person who thinks
that
the EC won't do that fairly by your
even
party,
those who are not
on the party,
those who are not NDC,
to render an apology,
those who are not even NDC members are angry with Jean Mensah, who is an activist of this government, and Dr. Bosman. People are angry with them. That's one. Two, the fact that these people have been given the opportunity to demonstrate when we are having COVID And mind you, few weeks ago, a group of persons who wanted to demonstrate against this government were denied the opportunity to demonstrate. And they have been given the opportunity with alacrity by the police. That is another issue. 3, there are laid down rules and regulations. There are procedures governing how such answers must be sought. In any case, must you embark on a demonstration? Read the placards. The placards were not written by anybody. I shudder to think that the MPP even wrote the placards. That you embark on a demonstration and then you say that it's even convoluted. You embark on demonstration demanding pensions from the NDs, and you say that if you don't have the pensions, you need to apologize to Jean Mensa. And 2, President Mohammed should not attempt contesting the elections for 2024 if he can't provide the pension. President Mohammed doesn't provide pensions. And in any case, we haven't even gotten to that stage.
Exactly. That I'll come to that one. But if the group is saying that failure by the NDC to provide the pensions, then they should render an apology to the Electoral Commission. Basically, what they are saying is that then it means that you've accused the Electoral Commission falsely, and you must apologize.
It's absolutely,
don't you agree with that?
It's absolutely balderdash to say that the NDC should be apologizing, with all due respect to a viewing public. The NDC should apologize to this woman. On what basis? I have stated, and I'll state it any day, any time, that Mr. Nanado never won the elections. Jean Mensa fraudulently declared Nanado as the winner of the election 2020. Now you have so-called NDC members who will be asking the NDC to apologize. It means that they never believed that the NDC had a case. And the reason why they say that, because we couldn't provide, pen sheets and our collated results at the Supreme Court, the petition. The NDC stated, both in open court and repeated interviews granted, that we went to court challenging the results declared by Jean Mensa. So if I go to court challenging the results declared by you, the only results that I can use to challenge your declared results is your results. Is that not the case?
Exactly.
Why would you be asking the NDC to provide our own results? And in any case, any results provided by the NDC will be deemed to be provisional. The only body clothed with the authority legally to declare results, and the results which will be considered as a final result of any public elections in this country is the Electoral Commission. So I think that argument should be put somewhere. I am saying that we haven't even gotten to that stage. We haven't reached there. As what my good friend and brother, Honorable
Atubiga,
I call him His Excellency, because he once contested or wanting to contest as the flag bearer. I think that I respect his view, I respect his opinion on any issue. The party has taken disciplinary actions against, and he apologized. In fact, I read a piece, I really don't know whether he authored that piece, where he indicated that there were questions asked about certain things he said by Professor Alabi and others. And he seemed to have a case that if he criticized Professor Alabi, I think that if he criticizes him, everybody can be criticized. But I haven't read his criticisms of Professor Alabi. I think that if the criticisms impugn on his integrity as an elder of the party, a leading member of the party, I think that for sanity to prevail, the leadership of party can ask him to apologize. Apologizing doesn't necessarily mean that you are wrong, but sometimes you apologize because they think that there must be some peace and sanity
but
prevail.
People are of the view that the
NDC.
National Democratic Congress in recent times is being very intolerant. Intolerant in the sense that, looking at the suspensions that are happening in the party, we've witnessed that of Kokoa Nyidoho, former deputy, general secretary of the party. We've witnessed that of Mr. Alote Jacobs, former Central Regional, I think, chairman.
If I had my way, he should have been fired.
And I think that now currently he's been fired. And then
I think one has been fired.
Yes, Alote Jacob has been fired.
I think it's long overdue.
Okay. And then now we are seeing that of Mr. Atubiga, who has also been suspended. People are of the view that, with a look of all these things, or when you look at all these suspensions and firings, the NDC is becoming intolerant. Would you agree with people who are saying
that
so?
is the hypocrisy of a section of the Ghanaian people. Why? The NPP fired their national chairman, fired their national secretary. Is that not it? Then have we attempted anything like that? Paula Foucault is still fresh. Komna Japan is still fresh. The Greater Accra Regional Secretary is still fresh. Why didn't they say that they were being intolerant? What Kukwanye Doho and Mr. Aluti Jacobs have
done?
What
is their crime?
What they have done to the NDC. If you attempt that with the MPP, you not only be suspended.
What did they do?
You'll be fired. And if you don't take them, they even attack you physically.
What are their crimes? What have they done?
Are you asking me what they did?
Are you asking their minds?
Oh, everybody has the right to speak his or her mind. When those individuals, take my good friend Kukwanyido, when he was the deputy secretary, if you attempted to speak your mind against him, I believe he would have been the first person demanding that the party should crack the whip. A party is an association, a group of people who come together, you know, on the basis of an ideology, on the basis of beliefs, and the basis of interest politically. And that party is not just any party. It has rules governing the conduct of every member within the party. Now, if your actions go contrary to the rules and regulations governing the conduct of the party, there are disciplinary and punitive measures that the party can take advantage of in dealing with you. And that is precisely what the party has done. That is not to say that the National Executive are saints. I have a lot of problems with a lot of them, to be very honest with you. But I'm saying that people should not hide behind the anger and the frustration of the rank and file of the party to be used by the NPP. And this group is a classical example of a group that has been used by the NPP. If I see a genuine case being made through the processes demanding that certain things ought to be done rightly, I think that will support that. I can tell you, that's why I don't have much problem with Atubiga's position. Atubiga didn't embark on a demonstration and demanding the unreasonable, that certain people should not contest when nobody has declared his or her intention to contest the 2024 elections. And that if President Mohammed doesn't provide the pink sheets, President Mohammed should not attempt contesting. Even if President Mohammed were to be the one who has the right and the possession of the pink sheets and refuse to do that, you can't prevent him from contesting. You can't do that. So the MPP is still dreading the intention of President Mohammed to contest for the 2024.
Just as you are accusing the New Patriotic Party of being behind this group, are there, you know, the sentiments of others who are saying that this particular group is being fueled by the New Patriotic Party? Now, concerns that are coming up is that when anybody speaks against the National Democratic Congress, then you are pointing fingers at the New Patriotic Party.
We are pointing fingers with reasons. I have just told you that you have a group of persons who wanted to demonstrate against this government. The Ghana police, who, by the way, have thrown their professionalism somewhere and been influenced and remote controlled by the by the presidents and the Flagstaff House. They denied them the opportunity to embark on that demonstration. And you have another group which is demonstrating against the NDC. That one, COVID is not with us. There is no COVID. They have given them the carte blanche to go and demonstrate. That is one. Two, a serious-minded NDC person will not ask anybody in NDC to be apologizing to Jim Mensah, who has done more harm.
And in fact, he has treated the Electoral Commission unfairly.
How?
Even when it is clear that to any member of the National Democratic Congress that your party has treated the Electoral Commission unfairly.
How did we treat the Electoral Commission?
I'm not saying that. You are saying that no member of the NDC will do so. I'm saying that even when it is clear that they've done so to the Electoral Commission, nobody will come up and say that the party should apologize.
Jim Mensah has done more harm to the NDC than any other person since the 4th Republican Constitution.
Okay.
Then he refused to explain to us why the people of Seoul have been denied their democratic and constitutional right. They don't have representation.
Okay.
That is what this woman has done. And we have an honest and genuine NDC person who would ask the party leadership, look, if I have problems with you, I can have problems, like I have problems with some members of NDC.
Exactly.
But I will not do this. because I'm a genuine NDC person. If I have problems and there are laid down procedures how those problems can be resolved, I go through those laid down procedures. I don't come asking the party to apologize to this woman who has done more harm to the NDC than any other person. And two, why is it that we haven't even gone to nobody, the party has not even opened the nomination for people who want to contest for the flag bearership of the NDC in 2024, and you realize that the target is President Mohammed. President Mohammed
in being behind this group to attack.
Because they're damn scared of President
Mohammed.
Scared of him. President Mohammed.
Did he indicate anywhere that he's coming back?
I think that question should be put to those individuals. That President Mohammed has not even indicated anywhere that he wants to contest election. In any case, we haven't even gotten there. Now people are asking that he should provide a pink sheet, else he shouldn't attempt contesting for 2024. Who determines that? Who determines who should contest? The right to contest as a flag bearer of the NDC is not determined by any NDC member. It is determined by the Constitution of the NDC and the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. If I am a qualified member, I can contest.
Be scared of former President John Dramani Mahama, the same man they defeated in 2016. And the same man, well, according to the NDC, the verdict was stolen in 2020, but in
2016,
according to the Electoral Commission and the Supreme Court, he has been defeated by the NPP.
In 2016, the MPP won the elections at the back of absolute lies. Mr. Nanado had created the impression to everybody in this country that he was incorruptible. Within 4 years, everybody knows in this country that he's the mother sapient of corruption. Everybody knows that what we experience under this government is beyond corruption, is robbery. Everybody knows that Mr. Nanado, who said he wasn't going to run a family and friends government, has appointed all manner of people, including baby mamas. Everybody knows that we have never had a nepotistic government under this sun than we have today. Today, in this country, we are being asked to pay COVID levy. Is that not the case?
Very well.
COVID. We are being asked to pay Zoom Lion levy, the Bola tax. In this country, the reason why we are being asked to pay COVID levy is because they think that the COVID-19 has brought, a huge pressure on our economy. This airport. Yeah. You have a company that was formed by somebody whose credibility we can't vouch for, formed that very month by courtesy the Minister for Health when he appeared before the appointment committee and said that they were operating illegally because they were operating without a license, that he was unaware of their operation. Between September to December, September last year to December, 234,250 passengers used this airport, and they each paid a compulsory sum of $150 for the COVID test. If you multiply that, you are getting over $35 million. Not cedis, $35 million. If Dr. Adnoguchi said the antigen test, everybody knows, is not comprehensive as far as COVID test is concerned. And the cost of undertaking an antigen test ranges between $15 to $25. Now, you have $35 million between September to December. Do you know how much they would have generated now? Government stopped the contact tracing. Government stopped the mass testing using COVID. Now you come back and you tell us that we need to pay. We need to pay a tax for COVID. Take the budget. If you realize that the COVID levy is supposed to generate 988 million Ghana cedis a year, what they have provided in the estimate as to what they will use that money for is just 14 million Ghana cedis. They haven't told us what they are going to use this. That is why in the motion, I said that we should vote against, in fact, we should reject that budget. That was my position. And that was the position of many people. The other thing has to do with the Bola tax. You have a Bola tax that is supposed to generate about 331 million. They have provided only 90 million Ghana cedis, what they are going to use the monies for. Today, you are telling us to do this. In any case, when they were giving us free water and free lights, people, and thanks to Comrade Kwesi Pratt, he said, the people of this country will pay for it in 2021. Yeah. You see, if Mr. Nana Addo was the one who declared Ghana is free forever, as Nkrumah declared, he would have been asking us to pay independent levy. Right. Because they deceived us. They deceived us by giving us freebies. When we describe it as freebies, they had consent. So my position is, Mr. Nana Addo should concentrate, and the MPP should concentrate on the seeming danger and bickering within their party. The fight over an Achim Mafia and Asante wing, where the Achim Mafia, for a reason best known to Nana Addo, is supporting Dr. Bawumia against Mr. Alan Chilmantin, and in fact, where they intend to use, because they've abandoned Ken being the running mate to Dr. Bawumia, they are now struggling to bring an Asante so that they can divide the Asante front. And in fact, they are considering my good friend Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh and the caretaker Minister of Finance, the Honorable Chairman Sabonsu. That is what they are doing. That should be their headache. Right. They should leave the NDC alone. They should leave us alone as a political. I mean, come on. I mean, if all the things they have said, the reasons they have given for this useless demonstration, without any basis, you don't need anybody to tell you that they are being influenced by.
Our time is up, but briefly pass a comment on these two issues for briefly. Then we go. I'll plead with my director. Give me just the issue of the banter between the majority leader and then the Speaker of Parliament, and then also what transpired at Achimota Seniors. Within 2 minutes.
Let me take the Achimota first before I take this. I think it is very clear that it is discriminatory. If you read Article 21A, talks about the fact that people have the right to free expression. Article 21B talks about the fact that people have the right to practice any religion, and they should not be denied, academic freedom and academic rights as a result of their religion. Yeah. And 21C talks about the fact that people can even manifest their religion. I've had people who have argued that they are not being denied admission because of their religion, and I say that is bogus. The people were admitted, and then you now give them a condition: go cut your locks, else you can't be admitted, because that's what it means. Exactly. The people are saying that the dreadlocks is not for fashion, it is a manifestation of our religious belief. You have Sikhs who come, Sikhs, the tie bind, when they give birth, they don't even cut their hair. You have such students who pass through Achimota. They didn't have any problem. You have Caucasians who pass through Achimota. They didn't have any problem. They didn't cut their hair. And now they are now telling us that these people should. I think it is completely discriminatory, and it frowns upon the Article 21 Clause 1, Article 21D, C of the 1992 Constitution. In the matter of the Speaker and the majority leader, it is very clear that the majority leader seems to have, a very shallow understanding of the system of governance that we practice. The argument is that why should the Speaker admit, the petition that was brought to Parliament by UT Bank and Unibank. I think that the Constitution is very clear. We are practicing the hybrid system, and the most important aspects of the American system is the separation of powers. And in that separation of powers, power must be distributed fairly and equally, such that one arm would not use that power over the other, and they work in a collaborative fashion. People can petition Parliament in a matter they think that they were unfairly treated, in a matter they think that government indeed targeted them. And the Speaker asked Honorable Chairman Sabonsu to tell him, mention a single standing order and the standing orders of Parliament which he, Honorable Bagwin, has violated in accepting, the petition. And why is it that Mr. Chairman Sabonsu is not concerned about businesses that are being collapsed in this country? Is not concerned about thousands of Ghanaians whose livelihoods were affected. And the Speaker made it very clear to him that he's only a leader of the majority group. he is only a leader of government business by virtue of he being the leader of the majority group in Parliament. He's not the leader of Parliament. In any case, the Speaker was right to tell him that he is the number 3 person in this country. In the absence of the President and the Vice President, the Speaker acts as President. Honorable Chairman Sabonsu doesn't act as the President. He will remain Honorable Chairman Sabonsu. So that's why the Speaker told him that his time is not up. In any case, they've been very, very, very good friends. You remember in 2014, they campaigned for each other.
Yes.
But I think that when it comes to such, I think that the Speaker was right in making it very clear to him. But I think there's also a lesson to most of us, including Right Honorable Speaker, that these people never wanted you to be the Speaker. And they will do everything possible to undermine the Speaker, which we need to jealously and strongly defend and protect.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm so grateful, my brother.
I appreciate it.
This is what time will allow us. Say a very big thank you to my team, the director, Sawa, for always being there. Also to my producer, Latifa Adam. My cameraman is here. Thank you so much. Say